sure why that's so satisfying to take dried paint out of plastic cups. But I do recycle my cups. Not the paper ones, of course, but I do. But I do recycle these and reuse them. And I just use a knife to scrape out the bottom. And I have my plastic measuring cups. I do the same, of course. I won't do that now. But anyway, today I'm doing an experiment. Welcome to Jane's Lab. I noticed that Behr makes 4 different kinds of satin enamels. And I was curious as to how they react doing a cloud pour using my cloud mix. So I mixed up all 4 the very same. I just bought a sample for the inexpensive one. It's the Behr Color Sample Paint and Primer Satin. It says Ultra Pure White. I'm hoping it's the same as the quart. It's the same light blue label, but that's what they gave me. And this is B3700. It doesn't say enamel on it, so that's what I was wondering whether it's the same. And then the next one I have is Behr Ultra Scuff Defense. It does say satin enamel, and it's Ultra Pure White 7750. And so I mixed them all up the same. And then the next one is Behr Marquee Ultra Pure White number 7450, and it's a satin enamel. And then for the most expensive one, I just bought the sample. It's Dynasty DY620, and it does say satin enamel on it. So I'll put the recipe for my cloud mix in the description box below. And I'm using all leftover colors. A couple of these are actual paint drippings from previous pours. I know these are paint drippings that were scooped up, and I think either these or these. I think these are paint drippings. And then I just have some leftover colors. There's purple and blue. So I have 2 colors of gray, purple, 2 colors of purple and blue. And my white. And so I'm using 11 by 14 canvases. Some of these have previously been used. And I'll do everything the same way and compare and contrast amongst the 4 different kinds. We'll see what happens. and I worked a lot quicker than I usually do because I was afraid the camera would die before I got to the fourth one. So I didn't spend a lot of time on composition or fixing the sides. I fixed the sides afterwards, and the corners, touched them up, but it's interesting to see how the paints reacted with each of these. So I'll go through each one. This is the first one I did. No, sorry, this is the first one I did with the color sample. So there aren't really any cloud effects, but it's a pretty straight pour. And you know, using leftover paint, I'm not really sure what was in the paint drippings, and I had so many lumps because I was using old paints, and I even put two of them through a strainer, and I still got lumps. But anyway, it was a good experiment. So that was the first one. The second one I did was the scuff defense, and that created some interesting effects with the dark gray. And there are some ghostly cloud boulders in there. And then there are definitely cloud boulders here with the purple. Must be dioxazine purple. The mauve paint drippings, well, they didn't do too much. They just sort of sat around in all four pours. So, but I treated them all the same. I poured the colors in the same order and tried to use the same amount. But you can see the ghostly fingerlings on this one, and that's the scuff defense, as well as the beautiful fluffy boulders here. And then the third one is the marquee, and you can see that the dark gray reacted with this one as well, and there's some pretty rings and some cloud effects with the purple and turquoise. So that's a pretty one as well. And then finally, Dynasty. Now when I opened the color sample for Dynasty, I noticed it has an odor to it, different from the other three. And when I was pouring, I don't know if you noticed, the paint sank into the colors. So it's your paint, so you can see that there's a lot of white here. It just sort of held its own. But there are some type of effects in this one, but not as much as on the previous two. So my two favorites would have to be the scuff defense and the marquee. They both created some beautiful effects, but especially the scuff defense, although I'm not sure if it's because of how I tilted, but it's between the second and third one. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. But it was the second one that had the ghostly fingerlings, the scuff defense. For my second experiment, using Behr and the 4 Behr and DecoArt Satin Enamels, I'm using different colors. This time I'm using Amsterdam Sky Blue Light This is a custom color Artist Loft Black and Blue. This is Artist Loft Blue, and this is Artist Loft Violet. These last three are all the soft body Artist Loft. And as I always say, we shall see what happens. glad I did a second test using different colors, because the ones that I did yesterday, as I mentioned yesterday, they were old paints, they were lumpy, some of them were paint drippings. So I decided to start fresh, and last night I mixed up some more paints, different colors from the first set. And I'm glad I did it because it confirms the results of the first experiment. So my cloud mix is basically 1 part satin enamel, 1 part Vallejo pearl medium, and 2 parts Floetrol. So when I did the Behr experiments, I just substituted the DecoArt Satin Enamel for the Behr. So I still used the Vallejo and the Floetrol, because I figured it would need a medium. And this is what I did yesterday. They're almost dry. Some of them are just a bit damp in the middle still. But this is the first one, the more economical Behr satin enamels that I think this is what most people use when they use the Behr satin enamels. And as I mentioned in my first close-up, that there weren't really any cloud effects, it's just pretty rings. But then it depends on the colors you use. So here I did get some cloud effects, and it turned out very nicely. This is the Behr Scuff Defense Behr Ultra, and it's for a quart. This is $1 more than this. This is only the color sample. I wasn't able to get the color sample for these two. That's why I had to get the quart. But this is $1 more, and the results are more spectacular, I think, with the Scuff Defense than with the regular Behr Premium Plus. So you can see that there are cloud effects definitely, and beautiful effects. And then same with the one I did yesterday. There are some cloud effects here, and so I was happy with that one. And then this is Marquee. This is more expensive, not as expensive as a Dynasty. Luckily I was able to get a color sample of Dynasty, because this was my least favorite. But I'll get back to that in a second. So Marquee, there are some cloud effects. It's pretty. And this is yesterday's. Again, some cloud effects. So that worked out well, but for the money, I think I'd still stick with this if I had to get a Behr. And this is Dynasty. I mentioned yesterday this is smelly, and the white is heavy and it just takes over. I did get some effects, but as you can see, there's just this big expanse of white, and same thing yesterday. Big expanse of white, there's some cloud effects, but it's not worth the expense. I'm glad I just got the sample for that. And of course I used my regular cloud mix with the DecoArt Satin Enamels. Oops, this is still wet. And this is the best of all the experiments. I still think the DecoArt Satin Enamel can't be beat for cloud effects. And this is the one from yesterday. Not as many effects, but again the paints were crappy. So, but it's still not bad. But as you can see, the DecoArt Satin Enamel is the winner. And second runner-up would be the Behr Scuff Defense if the DecoArt's not available. So I hope that helped everybody. Oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention, the Dynasty was so heavy it cracked. I know I didn't take a lot of time to tilt and work on the composition because I didn't want the camera to die. But it's the only one that cracked. You can see the deep crevices. And I had no airflow in the room for about 24 hours. I turned the ceiling fan off, and I covered the air conditioner vent so there was no airflow to cause it to crack. So it was just a heavier paint. So I wouldn't use Dynasty. Luckily, it's the most expensive one anyway. All right, well, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that's it for today. Enjoy the day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe below.